Welcome back to the deep dive. So we've spent some really valuable time talking about acceptance, that whole idea of learning to just ride the emotional wave when distress hits hard.
Crucial first step.
But it feels like that's only half the story, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Acceptance is foundational, but not always the end point.
Right. So today we're shifting gears a bit. We're looking at the second half.
Yeah.
How do we actually start to improve that distress once we've, accepted it's there?
Exactly. And what's fascinating is how the research really stresses that building distress tolerance involves this careful balancing act.
Balancing act.
Right.
Between acceptance and improvement.
Precisely. You generally can't just jump straight into frantically trying to fix the feeling.
Because that just doesn't work.
Often, yeah, it can
Well.
become kind of desperate, and sometimes even makes the distress worse. The efforts to improve, they need to be, the research calls it calm, considered, and calculated.
Calm, considered, calculated. Okay, I like that framing.
Yeah, and that's why acceptance usually has to come first. It gives you that space to then act with real intention.
Unless, I think you mentioned an exception.
Right. Unless the distress is just, overwhelming, truly extreme or unbearable. In those cases, yeah, you might need to jump straight to some immediate improvement activities just to get through it.
Oh, that makes sense. A safety valve.
Yeah.
But for most situations, it's accept first, then act calmly.
Exactly. And that action, the focus shifts entirely to behavior.
Behavior. Okay.
Yeah.
So we accept the feeling, ride through the initial, maybe intense wave. And then if the distress is manageable enough, we take this calculated action. And the guiding principle here is simple.
It sounds simple. The principle is do the opposite of what your escape urge is screaming at you to do.
Okay, the opposite. Simple on paper, maybe harder in practice. Like if I'm dealing with intense fear or anxiety, how does this opposite action, as you call it, actually work? How does it help long term?
Well, it works because by focusing on the behavior, you're essentially retraining your brain. It's how we can achieve emotional extinction for that specific trigger.
Retraining the brain. Okay, give me an example.
Sure. Let's take two common escape urges. First, situational avoidance. Maybe you avoid social events because they trigger anxiety.
Right, very common.
The opposite action there is to gradually face that situation. And crucially, you need to stay in it, Stay until the distress naturally starts to decrease on its own.
Ah, so you don't just dip a toe in and run.
Exactly. You're signaling to your nervous system, see, this isn't actually catastrophic. We can handle this. It helps break that conditioned fear response over time.
Okay, that makes sense for external avoidance. What about internal urges like numbing out with alcohol or maybe binge eating or even just excessive sleeping, withdrawing?
Yeah, good question. For those numbing or withdrawing urges, the opposite action is a bit different. It usually involves two key things. First, you have to allow yourself to actually feel the feeling.
Instead of pushing them down or numbing them.
Yeah. Right. Experience them without judgment. And second, you actively choose to engage in something. Either something active or maybe something soothing, rather than just withdrawing further into yourself.
Okay, so feel it, then engage differently. That sounds really hard, pushing against those strong urges.
It is hard, which is why the self-talk piece here is so vital. It's almost like coaching yourself through it.
Right. You need that internal support.
Yeah.
I like some of the examples you shared before, those simple phrases, things like, I can tolerate this feeling.
Or, it will pass.
Yeah, or even framing it positively, like, it's good practice for me to get comfortable being uncomfortable. That shifts it, doesn't it? From a failure to, strength of training.
Exactly. It reframes the struggle as building competence, building resilience. That mindset shift is huge.
Okay, so we've got opposite action supported by this helpful self-talk. What else is in the toolkit for improvement?
Well, once you've committed to that opposite action, or maybe if you just need help writing out the initial wave, there are these practical things called distress improvement activities.
Distress improvement activities. Okay.
Yeah, these aren't designed to magically eliminate the pain entirely. Think of them more as immediate small ways to participate, get active, or self-soothe. The goal is simply to make the distress tolerable.
Tolerable. Okay, dialing it down, not switching it off. I'm looking at a list of these activities now, and it's quite a range. It almost seems like the advice is, either go scrub your bathroom floor or find a fluffy cat.
Well, there's some truth to that. The list often gets broken down into two main types. First, there's activate.
Activate, like getting involved, getting absorbed.
Exactly. Things like exercise, walking, jogging, weights, or, cleaning, cooking, playing a game, anything that gets you moving or mentally engaged.
Okay. And the other type?
The other type is soothe. This focuses more on warmth, comfort, feeling cared for.
Ah, okay. So like a warm bubble bath, maybe getting a massage.
Or petting a dog or cat, that physical comfort. Even just imagining a relaxing scene, doing some slow, deep breathing or counting slowly to 10. Simple things.
So activate or soothe.
Ugh.
Get busy or get calm.
Kind of, yeah. And there's an important timing nuance here, too.
Okay.
If you're using opposite action to fight avoidance, these activities can sometimes work best as a kind of reward after you've faced the situation and the distress has started to subside naturally.
Oh, okay. Reinforce the positive action.
Right. But if you're using them to stop, say, numbing behaviors or maybe self-harm urges, you might need to use them sooner, even immediately, just to stabilize yourself and ride out that intense urge without acting on it.
Makes sense. Different timing for different goals.
Yeah, and it really requires some experimentation. You have to figure out which activities genuinely work for you in different situations. What helps one person might not help another.
Right. You got to try things out. Okay, so these activities help us manage the moment, survive the wave. But what happens after the wave has passed? Once things are calmer?
That's a great question. Once the immediate distress is manageable, or maybe it's mostly subsided, then you ask yourself, is this situation, the thing that triggered the distress, actually something I can do something about? Is there a problem here I can solve?
Okay, so shifting from tolerance to potential action.
Exactly. If the answer is yes, there's something I can influence here, then we move into a more systematic, structured approach called problem solving.
Problem solving. Sounds very deliberate.
It is highly calculated, like we said about improvement efforts. It's not just vaguely worrying about the problem. It's a step-by-step process.
What are the first steps? Because getting started is often the hardest part.
Absolutely. The critical first step, and often the trickiest, is step 1. Identify and define the problem. And the key here is objectivity and specificity.
Objectively and specifically.
How so?
You want to describe the facts? What happened, when, where, who was involved? You specifically avoid trying to figure out the subjective why at this stage or getting lost in interpretations and assumptions. Just the facts. Separate facts from feelings or interpretations. That does sound hard.
It really is. But getting that clear, objective problem definition down is crucial. From there, step 2 is generate all possible solutions. Brainstorm everything, even the wild ideas. No judgment yet.
Creative. Okay.
Then step 3 is evaluate those alternatives. Look at the pros and cons, the advantages and disadvantages of each potential solution you came up with.
Weighing the options.
And finally, step 4 is decide on a specific plan. Who needs to do what? By when? How exactly will it happen? Make it concrete.
Right. A clear action plan.
Exactly. So you see the whole cycle. Accept the emotion first, ride through the intensity, and then take that calm, considered, calculated action.
Which could be opposite action.
Or using those distress improvement activities to just tolerate the moment.
Or, if appropriate, engaging in this structured problem solving.
That's the balance. Acceptance, then intentional improvement.
It really brings it all together. Okay, final thought for you, our listener. Thinking about that list of distress improvement activities, the activating ones like walking or cleaning, the soothing ones like deep breathing or petting an animal. Which one activity, maybe something you never currently do, are you willing to experiment with?
Yeah, just pick one.
Pick one and maybe commit to trying it out the next time some intense distress strikes. See what happens. It's all about practice.